Something telling me that God has something more for me. Do you know me? I enjoy crocheting. So far, I make blankets and a pom-pom winter hat with 3 rings around that hat. Also, I added 6 red buttons around the hat. Do you know me? My favorite subject is math. I enjoy reading investment magazines and newspapers. Do you know me? I come from an island, Puerto Rico, where their roots are strong and their faith is unshakable. I was taught that anyone who spoke Spanish, I extended family, and should always say familia. Do you know me? My first job as an armed contract guard at 26 Federal Plaza, Manhattan, I realized that my mother, like any other family, came to America, prayed, sacrificed, and struggled, did not go in vain, especially when their children become successful. Do you know me? My job became my second home, and my co-workers became my family. Do you know me? I was naive and swayed to serve other spirits other than God. Do you know me? The same day that I was discharged on June 2004 from active duty to National Guard, the first thing I did was set up my tent in my living room floor, check the windows, check the doors, and pull down the blinds. I told my daughter to go to her grandmother because I didn't feel safe around her. Do you know me? I went back to my armed contract job. I was outside the booth. My heart felt like it wanted to come out of my chest. My thoughts were, too many people in the street. They might attack me. I remember my hands feeling sweaty and squeezing the handle of my weapon. Do you know me? In 2005, it was my first time at the Bronx VA hospital for a medical appointment. It was there that I saw a friend who I served with in Iraq. His clothes were not ironed. His hair was not combed. He grabbed me and told me that he left his correction job. He also said that he was experiencing hypervigilance, can't see, depression, fear of being attacked, nightmares, flashbacks, withdrawal, and feeling violent. He proceeded to tell me that he was diagnosed with PTSD. My heart sank to the floor, and a lump swelled in my throat because he was describing me. Do you know me? I kept resigning from jobs to jobs because I was afraid that I would kill someone. So I turned in my personal weapon to one police plaza because I didn't trust myself. Do you know me? I was at work inside the booth when suddenly I sensed death in the air. I looked at the right side of my body, and that is when I saw a shadow of myself peeling off my body and falling down to the floor. I felt sick, shed a long tear, and shook my head from side to side, realizing that I had died in Iraq and a stranger came home. Do you know me? Lieutenant Colonel died on October 16, 2003 in Iraq. That day, the world stopped and the sky was gray. I went to his gravesite in Nashville, and his headstone said one of his missions was to remember each soldier's name that worked with him to let he or she know that they are important no matter what rank they are. Now I understand. Every time he saw me, he would call out my name out loud. Before I left, I saluted him. Do you know me? Between the Bronx VA Manhattan VA, and Brooklyn Hospital. I have been in the psych ward 10 times. Do you know me? I wonder who was the lucky one, me or Lieutenant Orlando? My answer was Lieutenant Orlando was the lucky one. He was spared. Everything that was accomplished and achieved turned into ashes. Not dealing from the symptoms of PTSD. Losing control of oneself and not being able to stop it. Do you know me? The first time I attempted to commit suicide was because I could not handle the symptom of my mental illness. The second time was when I had a miscarriage. Do you know me? My support system was and still is God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, my mother, my brother, my sisters, and my husband. Do you know me? I have 1 year of sobriety through the help of AA groups in the Brooklyn VA. Do you know me? I still struggle, but I am a little bit stable. And my husband and I are going through a marriage counseling because my PTSD got worse by being verbally abusive, by threatening, and confrontational with my husband. Do you know me? God has led me to the Staten Island Clinic, which he assigned me with a psychologist woman who spoke Spanish and who believes in God and especially understands me. You don't know me.
Next up, we have another poem. He was in the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Christopher Ryan.
How you guys doing? Can you hear me? I served from 1999 to 2006 with 3 deployments to Afghanistan. I have 2 short poems that mean a great deal to me. The first poem is called These 4 Walls. These 4 walls stand for something. They house our heroes, heal our heroes, save our heroes, and after some time they feel like a prison. These 4 walls are closing in. A sea of never-ending appointments. Once inside, there is no escape. These 4 walls become smaller and smaller. I feel constrained, terrified. I can't move in the light that's being snuffed out. These 4 walls have formed. They are 7 feet long, 3 feet wide, and 2 feet high. These 4 walls stand for something. They house our heroes for eternity, for I am buried within these 4 walls. And the second one is called Hiding in Plain Sight. I am hiding. What you see is not me. Hiding is sometimes safer and sometimes harder. I am hiding in plain sight. Behind the uniform, I am hiding. What my fellow veterans see is not me. A veteran is what you see, but that is not all that I am. I am hiding in plain sight. In my life, from morning to night, I am hiding. I walk through the world hidden from sight. I am a man who projects one thing and lives another. I am hiding in plain sight. Now I am no longer hiding. I am a veteran. I am an American. I am a man. I am gay. I am no longer hiding in plain sight. Thank you.
Service. I see here you were in Afghanistan in 2006.
2001, 2002, 2003, 4, and 4 and 5.
Wow, I was there in 5, so thank you. That's a long tour.
Then I started having my own parking position, so I understand where you're coming from.
Great. All right, I'm very excited for this next act. It's in the form of Nat King Cole, and he's leading off our song section. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Harville Ford.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a Vietnam era veteran, and my favorite singer is Nat King Cole. So let me give you a few lines here. Pretend you're happy when you're blue. That shouldn't be so hard to do. If only you pretend. Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by if you just smile. L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. B is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone can love. Is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe helps to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes on a glow will find it hard to sleep tonight. Thank you very much.
We have another poet coming to the stage. He served in the Army. Please welcome Mr. Samuel Oliver.
Thank you very much. My name is Samuel Oliver. I'm Vietnam era. I'm an dialysis patient. Life is full of adversities, and if you never thought about it, brace yourself. It's like a hurricane wind that breathes non-stop. A seed is planted in a concrete grove. You can't understand it, but it managed to grow. It's denied those life-giving elements, so quite consequential, this is what you get. A troubled tree with no leaves on top, from a hurricane wind that breathes non-stop. The wood from its limbs crack like shots to kill every one of them who shall ever doubt. A sap so thin turns hard, forming knots, so the trunk won't bend in those spots. The roots are buried deep under the rocks as this hardcore seeks the thunder at the top. This is what I bore as I started to write. A silent war for a plight of life. A seed to a tree, the poetry goes, now you can't say, you don't know. It's like a hurricane wind that breathes non-stop. So take a note to God, relate the past fears, how the storms of a heart rages mad for years. I won't ask for strength, for he has made me strong, determined to the length of this killer storm. Living through tragedies of love, hate, hope, and sins. The lashings of life as they facilitate over and over, again and again. And in the annals of time, these must be the greatest moments, as I have prescribed, pope, pawns, or prophet. While you make a choice as to which one I'll be, I could hear the storm voice rolling in off of the masses of the sea. It's like a hurricane wind, the breeze non-stop.
Next, we have performing a song by one of my favorite bands, Oasis. Please welcome James Malowski.
Let's see if this counts. Okay. Should that be good? All right.
Yeah.